A very good morning to you all children. How are you all? Hope you all fine at home. Today's class we will discuss about the chapter sound in physics. What is the name of the chapter? It is sound. In this chapter we will discuss these topics. The first one is sound produced by a vibrating body. Actually, what is called sound? It is a form of energy. How the sound will produced? The sound will be produced by vibrating a body. So first we will discuss how the sound is produced by a vibrating body. Then sound produced by humans. And sound needs a medium to propagate. And what is called amplitude, time period and frequency of vibration. Then music and noise. What is the difference between music and noise? And finally we will discuss about noise pollution. Come children, let us see the topics in detail. So what is our topic? It is sound. In our day-to-day life we are hearing a lot of sound, that is different kinds of sound. Look at the picture. Here one picture is given. In this which objects will produce sound? See, the ringing of the bell produce sound, barking of the dogs and chirping of birds are the different types of sounds that we come across in our day-to-day life, isn't it? Next one. See, do you know what is sound? How it is produced? How does it propagate? Which sense organ helps us to hearing the sounds? Which sense organ helps us to hear the sounds? Yes, it is ear. Okay, we have 5 sense organs. In that our ears helps us to hear the sound. Okay. See, what are the 3 states of matter? As we know that solid, liquid and gases are the 3 states of matter. See, can sound travel through solid, liquid and gases? Yes or no? To know answers to all these questions, let us study the chapter sound. So what is the name of the chapter? We will study in this lesson about sound. Okay, come children, let us see the topics one by one. See, sound produced by a vibrating body. So how sound will produce? As we know that sound is a form of energy. How sound is produced? By a vibrating body only a sound will be produced. See, first point, sound is a form of energy that produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. We come across various sound sources such as television, loudspeaker and animals. Sound is produced by vibrating motion of the object. See, this is a tuning fork. How the sound is produced in the tuning forks? By the vibrating motion of the objects. Okay, let us perform a set of activities based on production of sound. Okay children, so sound is a form of energy. I will play one video about sound. See the video carefully children.
Let's perform few set of activities to show that vibrations are necessary to produce sound. The material required are few wooden blocks, a metallic sheet, a hammer, a stand, few bits of paper, string of about 30 centimeters long, and a metallic ruler. Keep the metal sheet on the wooden blocks as shown. Strike the metal sheet with a hammer. You will notice that vibrations are produced due to which sound can be heard. In next activity, take a string and tie it on the 2 sides of the stand. Keep small bits of paper over the string. Push or pull the string and release it. You will notice that paper bits fell down as the vibrations are produced into the string. The sound is produced due to the generated vibrations. In last activity, take a metallic ruler and keep it on the table such that more than half of the ruler is in the air and keep fixed the remaining part of the scale on the table with your hand. From another hand, press the free end of the ruler in air and release it. You will notice that ruler comes into vibration mode, due to which sound is produced. From these activities, we conclude that vibrations are necessary to produce sound.
So from these activities, it is clear that vibrations are necessary to produce sound. So the vibration of the particles of an object produces sound. Okay. And the next one. See, common conclusions from all the activities. The necessary condition for the production of sound is vibration of an object. Okay, so if the vibration of the object takes place now, we can hear the sound. Okay, the next one. See, each of the musical instruments shown has a peculiar sound of their own. So these are all the different musical instruments. They will give a different sounds. That is, they give a different music. The next one, different parts of different musical instruments vibrate to produce musical sound. See, these are all the musical instruments. So they will produce a different music. See, here a vibrating parts of musical instruments. In these instruments, which is the vibrating part? It is stretched membrane. And in these instruments, these are all the musical instruments. In these stretched strings are used as a vibrating part. And in this, air column is used as a vibrating parts. Okay. The next one. Sound produced by humans. How the sound is produced in humans? Come children, let us see. I will play one video about the sound produced by humans. See the video, children.
What happens when we blow air through the slit of paper? The air blown through the slit of paper causes the paper to vibrate. As a result, the sound is produced. Similar phenomenon happens in humans. Do you know how? In human, the sound is produced due to vibrations in voice box or larynx. Our voice box has two muscular ligaments at the upper end that is called vocal cords. Muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cords tight or loose. The quality of voice is different when the vocal cords are tight and thin than when they are loose and thick. The air from the lungs passes through the slit, due to which vocal cords start vibrating. As a result, sound is produced. Hence, vocal cords are the primary sound source for the production of sound in human.
So which part produce sound in humans? Vocal cords are the major source to produce sound. Okay. The next one.
Sound produced.
Sound produced by a paper having a narrow slit. How sound is produced? In a paper. Take a piece of paper with a narrow slit. Hold the paper between your fingers. Blow the air through the slit and you will hear the sound. So the sound will be produced in the paper. So our vocal cords produce sound in similar manner. So in human, which part produce a sound? A part called vocal cords. Okay. The next one. Sound needs a produces sound. To carry these vibrations, we need a material body, and hence a material is needed for the transmission of sound from one place to another. So if we want to transmit a sound from one place to another, definitely we need a medium. So what is called medium? It is nothing but the substance or matter through which a sound is transmitted is known as medium. Make a note of it. What is called medium? It is a substance or a matter through which a sound is transmitted is known as medium. Okay. The next one. What is the mechanism of hearing? What is the next topic? What is the mechanism of hearing? See, look at the picture. This is an ear picture. Our ear is made up of how many parts? 3 parts. Mainly the outer ear. See, this is outer ear, the middle ear and the inner ear. So these are all the 3 parts of our ear, and this is known as ear drum. Okay. Let us see one video about the mechanism of hearing. See the video, children. I will play one video about
Sound waves enter through the outer ear called pinna. They pass through the ear canal until they reach the eardrum or tympanic membrane. When a compression of the wave reaches an eardrum, it is pushed inward. When a rarefaction of the wave strikes the eardrum, it moves outward. Thus, the eardrum vibrates. These vibrations are amplified in the middle ear by the ear bones, namely hammer, anvil, and stirrup. Then these amplified waves are transmitted to the inner ear, where cochlea converts them into electric signals. These electric signals are finally sent to the brain through auditory nerve. The brain interprets these signals as sound.
So this is the mechanism of hearing. The next topic is amplitude, time period and frequency of a vibration. What is called amplitude, time period and frequency of vibration? See, look at the picture, children. What is called oscillation? See, the repeated to and fro motion of the body about its mean position is known as oscillation. For example, think about simple pendulum. Okay, in this the bob moves to and fro in a periodic way. So it is known as oscillation. Carefully observe the motion of the pendulum. For a given push, it goes up and only a certain distance in one direction and then returns back to the mean position before moving in the other direction. So this is mean position. It will move to and fro. So this is a best example of oscillatory motion. The next one. See, look at the picture carefully. This is B, this is A and this is C. Here BA is the maximum displacement of the pendulum in one direction. So what is called BA? It is the maximum displacement of the pendulum in one direction. And BC is the maximum displacement of the pendulum in the other direction. So BA and BC are known as the amplitude of the pendulum. So what is called pendulum? If the pendulum moves a maximum distance in one direction, then that is called a amplitude of the pendulum. Here BA and BC are known as amplitude of the pendulum. The next one. See, we see that the pendulum goes to one extreme position. For example, C, and come back to the mean position. This is B. So this is extreme position and this is mean position. Goes to the extreme position on the other side A and again comes back and then goes to the first extreme position. So this is known as oscillation. So what is called oscillation? A pendulum will cross two extreme position and one mean position. So this is known as oscillation of the pendulum. The next one. What is called time period of the oscillating body? A time period is nothing but it is the time taken to complete one oscillation. So a pendulum completes reaches two extreme position and one mean position. So that is called oscillation. So what is called but it is the number of oscillations made by the oscillating body in 1 second. So what is called frequency? It is a number of oscillations made by the oscillating body in 1 second. The oscillating body here is a bob of a pendulum. And what is the unit of frequency? It is hertz. In representation, capital H, small z. It is nothing but hertz. So this is the unit of frequency. The next one. See, without seeing the object producing the sound, we can recognize them. How? Amplitude and frequency are two important properties of the sound that helps us to distinguish between two sounds. Okay. And the next one. What is called audible and inaudible sounds? See. Humans can hear sound of frequency between 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. So what is our ear capacity to hear the sound? It is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. What is called Hz? It denotes the frequency. The unit of frequency is known as Hz. Okay. See, look at the picture. Rhinoceros communicate with one another by using sounds of frequency less than 5 Hz. So they use less than 5 Hz to communicate with other animals. Okay. The next one. See, bats can hear frequencies up to 120 kilohertz, and this helps them to locate their prey. Okay. So finally, different organisms communicate with one another by using frequencies of their audible range. For example, rhinoceros use 5 Hz to communicate with other animals. Okay. And human beings are sensitive only a particular range of frequency 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz or 20 kilohertz. So what is the hearable range of human? It is 20 to 20,000 Hz. Okay. The next one. We know that human ear is very sensitive to the amplitude and frequency of a vibrating body. See, a normal ear can hear sounds of frequency from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. So what is the normal hearing range of human? It is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. This range of frequency is known as the audible range of normal human ear. So what is the audible range of normal human ear? It is 20 to 20,000 Hz. The sound of frequency is audible range is called audible sound. Okay. The next one. Humans cannot hear sounds of frequency less than 20 Hz and more than 20,000 Hz. If the sound produced by a vibrating body is less than 20 Hz, now we can't hear. Same that if it is more than 20,000 Hz, now that sound also we can't hear. So these sounds are known as inaudible sounds. So thus the inaudible sound is a sound beyond the audible range of the human being. So this is the difference between audible and inaudible sounds. The next one. See, look at the pictures. These is dolphins, dogs and bats. Animals that can hear sounds of frequency more than 20,000 Hz. So these are the animals. It can hear more than 20,000 Hz. But human cannot hear the sound if it is more than 20,000 Hz or below 20 Hz. Okay. Use of equipments that work at frequencies higher than 20,000 Hz in medical field is. See, this is ultrasound is also used to examine the development of any structural abnormalities in the growing fetus. And animals that can hear sounds of less than 20 Hz frequencies are whales, rhinoceros and elephants. So they can hear the sound less than 20 Hz. Okay, so what is the audible range of human? Make a note of it. It is 20 to 20,000 Hz. And the next one, noise and pollution. What is the next topic? It is noise and pollution. See, pleasant bird. So these are all pleasant sounds. See, a sound that has a pleasant sensation on the ears and is produced by series of similar pulses of sound following each other regularly and rapidly at equal intervals of time without any sudden change in amplitude or loudness is known as music. Okay, so what is called music? It is a sound that has a pleasant sensation on the ears. So it will gives a comfortable feeling. Okay, and is produced by series of similar pulses of sound following each other regularly and rapidly at equal interval of time without any sudden change in the amplitude or loudness is known as music. Okay. The next one, unpleasant sound. Unpleasant sounds irritates us. So what are the examples of unpleasant sound? See, tick tick of the clock, loud sound from the loudspeaker, continuous ringing of the phone, bursting of the crackers and roaring of the lion. So these are all the examples of unpleasant sounds. See, that is the unpleasant sounds are always known as noise. So what is called noise? A sound that does not have a pleasant sensation on the ears is produced by series of dissimilar pulses of sound following each other irregularly and slowly at unequal intervals of time with sudden changes in the amplitude or loudness is known as noise. So what are the examples of noise? A noise that comes from a loudspeaker. These are all the examples of noise. Okay. And the next one, what is called noise pollution? Let us see one video about noise pollution, children. See the video carefully.
You must have faced the problem of traffic jam in daily life. While being stuck in the traffic jam, what irritates you the most? It is the screeching noises coming from all sides of the road. People blow horns in a thoughtless manner, causing noise pollution. Noise pollution is caused by the loud noises which come from a variety of sources. Noise pollution is annoying, distracting, and is physically and mentally harmful for human beings. Loudness of the sound and its duration of the noise are the factors which determine the level of noise pollution. Main sources of noise pollution are factories and vehicles. Though noise pollution can be experienced even at home and workplaces. At home, speaker, vacuum cleaner, telephone, television, mixer have high volumes that cause noise pollution. In the surroundings, machinery used in construction of buildings and loudspeakers creates lots of noise pollution. Pressure horns used by automobiles are one of the main sources of noise pollution on roads. The physical effects of noise pollution include hearing loss, stress, lack of concentration, and sleeplessness. You must have faced the problem of traffic jam in daily life. While being stuck in the traffic jam, what irritates you the most? It is the screeching noises coming from all sides of the road. People blow horns in a thoughtless manner, causing noise pollution. Noise pollution is caused by the loud noises which come from a variety of sources. Noise pollution is annoying, distracting, and is physically and mentally harmful for human beings. Loudness of the sound and its duration of the noise are the factors which determine the level of noise pollution. Main sources of noise pollution are factories and vehicles. Though noise pollution can be experienced even at home and workplaces. At home, speaker, vacuum cleaner, telephone, television, mixer have high volumes that cause noise pollution. In the surroundings, machinery used in construction of buildings and loudspeakers creates lots of noise pollution. Pressure horns used by automobiles are one of the main sources of noise pollution on roads. The physical effects of noise pollution include hearing loss, stress, lack of concentration, and sleeplessness. In case of patients and disabled, health problems further aggravate by noise pollution. Children in 2 to 6 years of age group experience irritability and slow growth. Thus, noise pollution is an unnecessary menace which needs to be removed by our own conscious efforts. Noise pollution can be reduced by using modified silencers in automobile and generators, by limited use of machines, by restricting heavy vehicles in residential areas, by avoiding loudspeakers in religious and social functions, by banning factory establishments inside the residential areas, by using TV, radio, music system, at low volumes at homes.
So from this video it is clear that loudness of the sound produces noise pollution. And what are the causes of noise pollution? The loss of hearing, then frustration, stress, sleeplessness. These are all the cause of noise pollution. So we have to reduce noise pollution. So in this lesson we discussed about sound, how the sound is produced by a vibrating body, and we discussed about what is necessary to produce or propagate sound. A medium is necessary to propagate a sound, and we discussed about amplitude, time period and frequency. Then audible and inaudible sound, and finally we discussed about what is called noise and music and what is noise pollution. Okay children, that's all our chapter children. Thank you children, we will meet in the next class.